I'm live, as they say. Oh, there we go. Peace. Cheers, as always. Hope everyone had a great weekend so far. Hope you had a wonderful previous past week. As always, filled with all of the emotions, right? Anger, happiness, sadness, depression, empathy, all the good things, right? You need the full human experience. Um, I have my tiny little glass of wine tonight that I'm enjoying in good old Oneida. Oneida, I think it's pronounced Oneida, South Dakota. Did my very first passenger trip today in the Piper Navajo. Awesome experience. It was super cool. I really enjoyed it. It's a really fun plane to fly. It's a 350 horsepower per engine, fuel injected. Super cool plane. A lot of fun. I really enjoyed the experience so far. We'll be in Oneida for the next 2 days, give or take. So I figured, let's talk nutrition, right? As I have my tiny glass of wine, right? Um, I don't know if anyone can relate to this too. Maybe you can, but it's like when you have a hobby like RC airplanes. For me, that's my hobby, right? I love RC airplanes, right? I have an F-18, an F-15, a P-51, a really crappy F-35. And I'm looking at other airplanes I want to buy eventually. But you ever like you ever get doing something that you're like really jazzed up to do and you end up like having a couple too many glasses of wine? I might have done that Friday night a little bit, but neither here nor there. So scaling it back tonight quite a bit because obviously got to do work now. So why am I talking tonight? I've rambled on now for the past minute and 40 seconds. But what we're talking about tonight is metabolic flexibility. So I've done a few videos on this, but I don't. It never hurts to reiterate the point, um, and talk about what that means, how to implement it, right? Because metabolic flexibility, yes, you can get really specific with like counting your macros, your protein, carbon, fat, and getting the vegetables dialed in, all your micronutrients. If you want to get really specific with results, right? If you're looking to really dial down that body fat, you're really trying to get like, you know, relatively lean, right? If for guys like sub 10% body fat, for women like, down to that 12, 15% body fat, which is pretty lean for women, right? Or maybe even leaner, right? It doesn't matter where you want to be, but maybe you just want to be healthier, right? Maybe you just want to live a life where you don't have to count all of your macronutrients. You don't have to write everything down. You don't have to use MyFitnessPal to log everything. Again, not bad things, right? And there's never a bad way to do something. Well, I lied. There's bad ways to do things, right? Like starving yourself is a bad thing. You're not eating any. Well, that is starving yourself eating anything, but you get my drift, right? Starving yourself, not a good thing to lose weight, right? It doesn't work. Um, but metabolic flexibility is if you can understand it and how to implement it, it's a really easy way to make nutrition work for you, where again, you don't have to be super nitpicky with what you're eating. Now, again, I said this in the introduction, you do have to be mindful about what you're eating, right? And know through Precision Nutrition, who I'm certified to do coaching through for nutrition coaching, they talk about, 80, 90%. I'm a little more loose with that. I think they want 90%, but 80, 90% of meals per week should be pretty decent meals, right? So if you're eating, let's say 3 meals a day, 21 meals a week, 18, 19 of those meals should be pretty good, decent meals, right? The other 2 or 3 meals, maybe that is pizza or ice cream or something else, right? But so you do have to pay somewhat attention to your nutrition. Um, Again, that's if you're really trying, but again, that's if you're really trying to like get down to lower body fat percentages. Um, Again, if you're just trying to be a little more healthy, right? If you're just trying to live a healthier life and not have a method of like, shit, I gotta go to the gym 5 days a week and I gotta count all my food. I gotta eat all this like specific stuff. Um, Metabolic flexibility, which I'm going to talk about what it is again, is a great way to go. So, what is metabolic flexibility, right? So, before I get into that, let's three energy systems, right? You have your high energy ATP system, ATP phosphate system. I kind of forget what it stands for now, but you have your high energy system, the system that uses ATP for really quick, high intense bursts of exercise, right? Then you have your glycolysis, right? That's a little more long duration, right? Using carbohydrates for energy. Then you have your beta oxidation. That's utilizing fat for energy, right? So the goal of metabolic flexibility really is to get your body really good at utilizing all three energy systems, right? Because that's what we want. We want your body to be good at utilizing ATP, carbohydrates, and fat, right? We want it to be good at using all that stuff, right? Because that's going to maximize your workouts. So, and that's what metabolic flexibility helps you do, right? It helps your body use the food it needs when it needs it. It helps your body use the nutrients it needs when it needs it, i.e., carbohydrates versus fat, right? So, how do you implement that? Before I continue, don't forget to like and subscribe somewhere up there. Feel free to shoot me an email somewhere up there. We can always talk about this stuff one-on-one, right? Make it a little more simplistic based on your lifestyle. But we'll say that towards the end as well. So metabolic flexibility, what is it? Again, it's your body getting good at using the food it needs when it needs it. So how do you implement that? Well, it's actually pretty simple. So let's take an example, right? Let's say you're eating, let's just say 3 meals a day. That's pretty common, right? It's called breakfast, lunch, dinner, right? Pretty common to have 3 meals a day. Maybe it's just two, maybe it's four, right? But for now, we'll use three. So breakfast, lunch, dinner. So the first thing you got to do is, okay, my workout schedule currently is I'm doing strength training on Monday, Wednesday, Friday each week, right? That's my current workout schedule. So then I know on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, again, this is a broad example right now. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, on those 3 meals a day, I'm going to add an extra source of carbohydrates, those 3 meals, breakfast, lunch, dinner. I'm still going to have my protein source, still going to have a fat source, right? Still going to have vegetables, right? So you're still keeping protein, fat, vegetables pretty consistent, right? But you're going to add the extra carbohydrate source. Now, if you're just starting off, if you're still new to nutrition or not even new to it, right? Maybe you're seasoned in this stuff. Well, you can at least say then on those days I'm doing strength training, if I don't have the option of eating protein, vegetables, fat, each of those meals, okay, I'm just gonna, maybe all you can do is have a carbohydrate source. Well, that's fine. Just have a carb source, right? But the point is that the days you're exercising, those are the days you're going to want to have higher caloric intake from carbohydrates, right? What's that going to do? Well, it's going to facilitate a stronger workout. You'll have more energy. You'll be stronger. Probably get a couple extra reps in. Probably able to work out longer. All the things, right? Because you have the extra energy and extra carbohydrates, extra calories. Versus on your off days, right? Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday. Now on those days you still have to be active, right? You still want to be moving the body, walking, or maybe doing a light jog or yoga or whatever. You're still being active on those days, but you're not doing high intense exercise, right? You're not trying to go deadlift, PR and deadlifts, or bench press or push press or back squat or, curls and extensions and all this stuff, right? You're just living and being active. Well, in those days, the simple way to do it is just, you're still having those 3 meals a day, but you're just going to pull those carbohydrates out. No, maybe you don't pull them out of every meal. Maybe you have the breakfast you like with some toast or whatever, but you're going to pull the carbohydrates out on lunch and dinner, right? That's what you want to do, right? So you're pulling back on the carbohydrates on the days that you're not exercising. It's as simple as that. Now, again, I said this in the introduction, it doesn't give you the free reign to go eat whatever carbohydrates you want, right? You still got to be smart about it, right? We're choosing white rice, brown rice, yams, sweet potatoes, ripe potatoes, versus choosing like donuts. So that's hopefully pretty obvious. So that's what you kind of want to do. So days you're exercising, right? You're still trying to focus on having those same 3 meals a day, right? Protein, fat, vegetable, adding in the additional carbohydrate. But maybe on the off days, right? Now you're pulling those carbohydrates out. This is going to help train your body to burn the food it needs when it needs it. And I promise you this works really well because, again, you still have to be somewhat, choosy with your macronutrients, but you don't have to be perfect, right? I know when I do this, there's some days where it's like I get a good hard workout in and maybe I want some glazed or donuts. I'll allow myself to do that after the workout, right? Or pre-workout, right? But if I'm gonna have those higher caloric carbohydrate meals, I'm doing them on my workout days, right? So that's all it is. It's a pretty simple concept. Now, like I said, if you want to get really nitpicky, right, you gotta. There's some equations you can do. You can do hydrostatic weighing. You can do the Mifflin St. Jouard equation. There's the Harris-Benedict equation, right? There's equations you can do to figure out how many, what's your basal metabolic rate. You add your activity factor in that, your thermic effect of food into that, right? There's a way you can there's mathematical stuff you can determine your actual metabolic rate, or go in Lifetime Fitness has, hook you up to a chamber or some stuff you can get that figured out too. But for me, in my age right now, what I'm doing in my life, I like to keep things a little more simple. again, broad spectrum. I like to think, all right, I'm working out Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I'm going to have more food from more carbohydrates, still protein, fat, vegetable. Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, I'm still going to have those same meals, but I'm taking those carbohydrates out. Right? It's a simple way to look at nutrition, right? And again, if you want to dial it more, then yes, you do have to figure out like your exact macros and like start to plan those out per meal. But if you're just trying to be healthy, right, and not be so restrictive, this is a pretty good way to look at it, I think. So anywho, cheers from Oneida, South Dakota. Hope you all having a wonderful Sunday night. We'll hit up another video sometime this week. Hey Joey, if you didn't send a message, peace brother. Peace brother. Hope you're doing well. But anywho, have a great Sunday. Have a great week. Probably try to pop back in here maybe Wednesday or Friday this week for another video. And as always, feel free to shoot me an email up there in the corner somewheres. Like and subscribe. You know, as I'm doing this, I realize as I do live videos, I don't know how to add stuff in yet. So I'll put those in the introduction page. Anywho, peace. Cheers. Have a wonderful Sunday. Bye.